So, hey, Rick, go ahead and share what the Lord did in your life.
Well, thanks, Pastor Chris, for giving me this opportunity to share this story, because I think it's really important to share things like this with as many people as you can. It was a Thursday, September 19, 2020, and I had just picked up my son, Adam, my 6-year-old son at the time, Adam, from school, and we came home, and we have a big swing in an oak tree in our yard. It's a big tube with netting in the middle and has a pull rope on it, and Adam loves to swing on the swing, so he got on the swing, and I was pulling the rope. I was standing on our paving stone walkway, and I was pulling the rope on the swing, and he was swinging, and he came out, and I gave the rope a good pull, and I slipped on wet paving stones, and I jerked the rope. Adam was lying in the swing, and Adam flew out of the swing, smashed onto the ground, and his head hit the paving stone. And I didn't hear a bonk or a thud. I heard a crunch. And Adam lay on the ground. And he was stunned for several seconds, and then he started to wail. And I scooped him up, and I ran in the house, and I said, "Joanna, we have to get to the ER right away." She flew out of the house. We jumped in the car, and we headed to the hospital, and we went in, and they took him right away with a head injury, and a doctor came right away and saw him, and Adam was crying, and we had been in there about 30 minutes, and during this time, I started to see this great, big, nasty-looking hematoma, this big bruise appear above his right eye. It must have been at least 2 inches in diameter, and there was a small cut right in the center of it. And I know that when you hit your head, if you have a bump on your head, that's a good thing because the swelling is on the outside. This was flat. And I was praying. I prayed with the intensity that I don't ever think I've prayed before. And I prayed from the moment this thing happened. In the car, in the hospital, I was praying. And we'd been in the hospital about half an hour, and Adam started to throw up. And I know what that means. And there was blood in his vomit. He threw up about 5 times, and then he went unconscious. And at this point, there are 3 doctors in there examining him, and they had him all hooked up, and they said, have to bring him in, get a CT scan on his head. So they wheeled him in, and they took a scan, and I'm standing outside the room, and I'm still praying. And he came back out, he's unconscious. They brought him back, and there's 4 or 5 doctors that are in there, and they're working on him and examining him. And after a while, after about 30 or 40 minutes, the results of the scan came back, and it showed nothing. It showed that there was nothing. And the doctors said, no, it's not possible. This boy's unconscious. He threw up. He's blood in his vomit. There's something. Send him back in for a body scan. So they sent him back in for a whole body scan. And so in the process, in the interim, they admitted him. And so when he came out from the scan, they brought him up to a room, and they lifted him up off of the gurney and put him on the bed, this little unconscious boy. And now there's 8 doctors in the room, and they're examining him. And still, I'm praying. Joanne was there, and we knew he was going to be there overnight, and so we had our daughter Alana too, and we knew that both of us couldn't stay, and Mom is much better at getting dinner and getting Alana to bed, so we opted for me to stay and for her to take Alana home and get her ready for bed. So I stayed. And so the doctors are talking, wondering what to do next, and the results of the scan came back, and it showed nothing. And they said, no, that's not possible. There's something seriously wrong. And I'm still praying. I'm praying, and I'm not a younger man. I'm an older father, and I'm praying, God, you've given me this boy later in my life, and please don't take him away. Please don't let him be impaired or damaged. And so the doctors are talking about what is going to happen next, what they're going to do next. And suddenly, Adam woke up, and he was fine. He was making jokes, and he started playing with the bed, and he's lowering the bed, and he's raising it up, and he's putting the back of the bed up, and he's giggling, and these doctors they're literally slack-jawed. And as we watched, I saw this big hematoma on his forehead disappear. It took about 40 minutes, but this thing disappeared. And the cut in the center vanished. And the doctors saw this. And they said, I've never seen anything like this. And so we spent the night. Adam got a good night's sleep, much better than Dad. I slept in a chair, and we woke up in the morning, had breakfast, and a whole slew of doctors paraded through the room and examined him and took a look at him and saw the complete lack of any mark on his forehead. And Adam's skin is the kind of skin that really holds a mark for years. I mean, there's a tiny little fingernail scratch right here on his cheek that he got the summer before last. And you can still see it. It's going away, but you can still see that there's a little mark on his skin. Well, there's nothing here. And, you ask, do you believe in miracles? Well, yeah, I believe in miracles. Sure. Do I believe God can do miracles? Yes, I believe God can do miracles. But kind of in the abstract. I mean, have I ever seen one? Well, no, I never saw one till now. But I don't care what you believe. I know what I saw. And I saw the hand of God heal that boy. And I might be able to attribute this whole thing to something else, but for the fact that I saw this thing disappear and I saw the cut vanish. His skin was cut and it healed. And so when Pastor Chris asked if I would come up and say something, I said, yeah. I sure will. I've told this story to a lot of people. And, there have been several people that have kind of looked askance at me and given me the side eye. I don't care, because I think this is part of the deal. God did this for my boy. And I think he wants me to tell people and glorify God. And so that's why I'm telling this story, because there's not a day goes by that I don't thank God for what he did for my son and my family. And so I just thank you all for listening, and just know that God works miracles today just like he did 2,000 years ago. Okay? Thanks, Pastor Chris.